Hello friends, welcome to this lecture on two traditional methods of QSAR analysis, that are Hensch and Free-Wilson analysis. I am Dr. Om Silakari, Assistant Professor in the Department of Pharmaceutical Sciences and Drug Research, Punjab University, Patiala. As we know that Hensch and Free-Wilson analysis are the two most popular quantitative models of traditional QSAR. So, before discussing about these methods, I would like to introduce you with the concept of QSAR analysis. The whole chapter is divided into 6 different modules. First module is an introductory description of QSAR. Second module is devoted to the fundamental aspects of QSAR. Third and fourth modules are detailed descriptions of Hensch and Free-Wilson model. Fifth module describes interrelationship between Hensch and Free-Wilson methods, and finally sixth modules explain the role of QSAR methods in medicinal chemistry. Module 1, Introduction. Basically, quantitative structure activity relationship analysis is an attempt to correlate structural or property descriptors of compounds with their activities. QSAR methods are based on two basic assumptions with respect to the relationship between chemical structure and biological potency of a compound. The first assumption is that one can derive a quantitative measure from the nature of those global and local properties of significance to the biological activity of compound. The property are usually assumed to be either physicochemical, such as pK or partition coefficient, or substructural, such as presence or absence of certain chemical features, for example, presence of COH or presence of SH group. Second assumption is that one can mathematically describe the relationship between biological properties one wishes to optimize and chemical properties calculated from the structure. Thus, on the basis of these two assumptions, two characteristics of QSAR analysis are: first one, it is a method to transform the chemical structure of a compound in a set of numerical descriptors relevant to the biological activity, and second, it is a method to establish a quantitative relationship between these descriptors and biological properties of compounds. Now, I would like to throw some light on the origination of this concept of QSAR. Basically, the concept of QSAR dates back to the 19th century. In 1868, Crum, Brown and Fraser published that chemical structure of drug could be correlated mathematically with the biological responses, as biological activity phi is a function of physicochemical property or structural features. In 1893, Richards forwarded Richards' rule, according to which narcotic action is inversely proportional to the aqueous solubility of organic compound. Mayer in 1899 correlated general anesthetic activity to the O by W partition coefficient in 1-octanol water system. Ferguson in 1939 observed a cutoff of biological activities beyond to certain range of lipophilicity. Major breakthrough was obtained in early 60s when two different quantitative approaches were developed, one by Hensch and Fujita in 1964 and other by Free and Wilson in the same year. Later, these called Hensch analysis and Free-Wilson analysis respectively. This Hensch analysis is also known as free energy related approach or extra thermodynamic approach, and Free-Wilson approach is also known as additivity model or de novo approach. Module 2, Fundamental Aspects of QSAR. To successfully implement any method or technique or approach, one must be very clear about its fundamental aspects or basic principle related to that. So, now what are the fundamental aspects of QSAR? Basically, drug receptor interactions are the fundamental idea behind the all type of QSAR analysis. Most interactions between drug and receptor are physicochemical process. When equilibrium between drug receptor complex, a free drug D, and unoccupied receptor R is established, the reversible process can be expressed as D plus R is equal to Dr plus biological activity, where K1 is a rate constant for forward reaction and K2 is the rate constant for backward reactions. So, in this process, the affinity of the drug to its binding site at the receptor R is determined by free energy differences delta G0 between the free states of both partners and drug receptor complex. So, delta G0 is made up from the enthalpy change delta H and entropy change delta S, as delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S. Under the equilibrium condition, what happened? Association constant K is related to delta G0 as log K is equal to minus delta G0 upon 2.303 RT, where association constant K is equal to K1 upon K2. Delta G0 is nothing but of a change in standard free energy during the formation of Dr complex. T is equal to absolute temperature, R is equal to gas constant. On the basis of these equations, it can be said that the ability of each member of the series of drugs to bind to the corresponding receptor is dependent on the differences in the standard free energy change delta G0 under the same conditions. Hence, any factor which contributes to the changes in standard free energy will affect the biological response. These factors can be divided into three major categories like lipophilic, electrostatic and steric, and are parameterized in various descriptors to develop correlation with biological activity in QSAR methodologies. Basically, these traditional QSAR methods belongs to two-dimensional QSAR analysis, two-dimensional quantitative structure activity relationship analysis. 2D QSAR methods attempt to correlate biological activity with only some local features of the atom or whole molecular property, for example charge, and substituent effect, for example fragment or hydrophobicity indices, without consideration of directional preferences in three-dimensional space. 2D QSAR applies multiple linear regression analysis to obtain quantitative relationships. Some of the most popular 2D QSAR approaches are: first, Hansch analysis, also known as linear free energy related approach or extra thermodynamic approach. Second, free Wilson analysis, also known as additivity or de novo design. Third, mixed approach, which is the interrelationship between Hansch and free Wilson analysis. Common steps in QSAR analysis. The common step of QSAR analysis are described in figure 1. These steps are: to apply any QSAR method, first requirement is an appropriate structural and biological activity data set. So, first step is selection of an appropriate congener series selected on the basis of certain criteria. Second, collection of quantified biological activity as a dependent variable either from literature reports or from experimental methods. Collection or calculation of 2D and 3D parameters from literature or software as independent variables. QSAR modeling by appropriate methods either by Hansch, free Wilson, MFA, RSA or CUMFA. Any of these models can be then derived by regression analysis using suitable statistical methods like SMLR, MLR, PLS, GFA, etc. Evaluation of mathematical model by calculating various statistical parameters, then selection of best models on the basis of numerical values of these statistical parameters. Finally, best model is used in the prediction and designing of new molecules. Finally, the best model is used in designing and predicting the activity of new molecules. Now we move to the first approach, Hansch analysis, in module 3. Hansch analysis correlates biological activity values with physicochemical property by linear, multiple or non-linear regression analysis. Thus, Hansch analysis is indeed a property-property relationship model. This analysis is also called linear free energy related approach or extra thermodynamic approach because practically all parameters used in Hansch analysis are free energy related values. That means derived from rate or equilibrium constant. As I already described the free energy related parameterization of QSAR descriptors in module 2. The biological activity value, if they are properly defined, are also linear free energy related values. For example, binding or inhibitor constant, absorption and distribution rate constant, or complex data which correspond to weighted combination of several such unit processes. On the basis of fundamental aspect of QSAR and kinetics of drug action as described in module 2, it can be said that Hansch QSAR model is based on three basic assumptions. The first one is a particular kinetic mechanism operates in biological responses. Second, relative to pi, there may be a biphasic variation of biological activity. Third, physicochemical parameters govern the rate constant or rate determining step of drug action. Now, derivation of Hansch model. To derive Hansch QSAR equation, various conceivable combination of lipophilic, polarizability, electronic and steric parameters are correlated with biological activity values in linear, parabolic and bilinear equations by stepwise multiple regression analysis. The general form of Hansch QSAR equation is given in equation number 1. For linear in vitro activity data, log 1 upon C is equal to A pi plus B sigma plus CES plus D, where C is equal to concentration of drug necessary to realize a specific biological response, pi hydrophobicity constant that can be replaced or complemented with log P, sigma is equal to Hammett's substituent constant, ES is Tufts steric constant, A, B, C are regression coefficients and D is the intercept. For in vivo data, equation 1 was extended to equation 2 by including a parabolic lipophilicity term. The idea behind equation 2 is that molecules which are too hydrophilic or too lipophilic will not be able to cross lipophilic or hydrophilic barriers respectively. Therefore, they will have a lower probability to arrive at the receptor site than molecules with intermediate lipophilicity, being readily soluble in aqueous phase as well as lipid phases. Thus, for non-linear in vivo activity data, equation 1 becomes as log 1 upon C is equal to A pi plus B pi square plus C sigma plus D ES plus E, where A, B, C, D are regression coefficients and E is intercept. Now, rules for derivation of Hansch equation. In deriving Hansch equation by stepwise multiple linear regression, number of equations may be generated with different combination of parameters. The best equations can be selected by following certain rules given by Unger and Hensch. These rules are: first one, selection of independent variables. A wide range of different parameters like log P, sigma, molecular refractivity and steric parameters should be tried. Molecular orbital parameters and indicator variables should not be overlooked. The parameter selected for the best equation should be essentially independent, means intercorrelation coefficients among the parameter of multi-parameter equations should not be larger than 0.6 to 0.7. Exceptions are combination of linear and square term, for example log P and square of log P. Second, justification of the choice of independent variables. All reasonable parameters must be validated by appropriate statistical procedures like stepwise multiple linear regression. The best equation is normally one with the lowest standard deviation, all term being significant, as indicated by 95% confidence interval or by sequential f-test. Alternatively, the equation with the highest overall f value may be selected as the best one. Third one, principle of parsimony. Occam Roser, a English philosopher, said that all things being approximately equal, one should accept simplest model. Fourth one, number of term. One should have at least 5 to 6 data point per variable to avoid the chance correlation. This rule only apply to the data set of intermediate size. For a small data set, more parameter may be allowed if they are based on reasonable model. For larger data set, for example n is greater than 30, this recommendation lead to equations which include too many variables. And finally, qualitative model. It is important to have a qualitative model which is consistent with the known physical, organic and biomedicinal chemistry of the process under consideration. Now, second popular 2D QSAR method is Free-Wilson analysis. So, in this module 4, I will discuss about this method. Module 4, Free-Wilson analysis. The Free-Wilson approach is a true structure activity relationship model. It is also known as mathematical model, additivity model or de novo approach. Nowadays, modified version of this original formulation of Free-Wilson model described by Fujita and Wen is being used in drug designing. Now, derivation of Free-Wilson model. To derive Free-Wilson model, an indicator variables is generated for each structural features that deviates from an arbitrary chosen difference compound. Value 1 indicating the presence of certain substituents or structural features and 0 indicating its absence are correlated with the biological activity value by multiple linear regression analysis. The resulting regression coefficient of indicator variables are the biological activity contributions of the corresponding structural elements. Therefore, the total activity A of derivative is sum of constant independent partial contributions. Thus, Free-Wilson model can be mathematically expressed as total activity A is equal to contribution of R1 plus contribution of R2 and so on, contribution of parent. It can also be expressed in its most general form as summation of Aj, Ij plus mu, where Ij is equal to substituents at jth position, Ai is a contribution of ith substituent at jth position, mu is equal to contribution of parent structure. The Free-Wilson method is useful in following three conditions: when nothing is known about the mode of action, means mechanism of disease process is unknown. Second, when the biological testing is slow compared to the synthesis, and third one is when the physicochemical property of substituent are unknown, means that when structural features cannot be described by continuous variables. Now, advantages of free-Wilson analysis. Free-Wilson analysis offers a number of important advantages. First one, table for regression can be easily generated. Second, addition and elimination of compound is simple and does not significantly change the values of other regression coefficients. Next, any compounds may be chosen as a reference compound because all have same parent. Contribution, substitution which always occurs together in two different positions of the molecule can be combined to a pseudo substituent. Next, singularity problems are easily avoided. Next, the values of the group contributions are directly related to the Hensch analysis derived group contributions. Now, limitations. Free-Wilson approach is easy to apply, especially in early phase of SAR. It is simple method to derive substituents contribution and to have first look on their possible dependency on different physicochemical properties. However, the Free-Wilson model also has some serious limitations. First one, to apply this method, structural variation is necessary at least two different positions of the substitution. Second, every substituent which occurs only in once in data set leads to single point determination. It means that the corresponding group contribution contains the whole experimental error of the one biological activity value. Third one, in most cases large number of parameters is needed to describe relatively few compounds. This sometimes leads to equations which are statistically not significant. Fourth one, using this approach only a small number of new analogues can be predicted. Fifth one, prediction for the substituents which are not included in analysis are generally impossible. Next, it is also limited to linear additive SAR. Module 5, mixed approach. Mixed approach is the relationship between Hensch and Free-Wilson analysis. Hensch analysis and Free-Wilson model differ in their application, but they are closely related. From general formulation of linear Hensch equation, group contribution AI can be derived for each substituent under consideration. For example, we can also express Free-Wilson model in linear Hensch equation as log 1 upon C is equal to K1 phi 1 plus K2 phi 2 plus and so on Kn phi n plus C, where we can assume that phi 1 and phi 2 are different physicochemical properties of substituent, and therefore contribution AI of a substituent is nothing but of sum of physicochemical property. Thus, log 1 upon C is equal to summation of Kj phi j plus C, or you can say group contribution AI is equal to summation of Kj phi ij, where phi I is equal to any physicochemical property, phi ij is equal to physicochemical property J of substituent Xi, AI is equal to group contribution. Thus, group contribution AI can be derived by each substituents under consideration. According to equation 5, Free-Wilson contributions contain all possible physicochemical contributions of substituents. Thus, Free-Wilson analysis always gives upper limit of correlation which can be achieved by linear Hensch analysis. Due to this relationship between Hensch and Free-Wilson analysis, indicator variables can be included in Hensch analysis. Both model can be combined to a mixed approach in linear and bilinear form, which offer advantages of both approaches and widens the applicability. Thus, mixed model can be described in most general form for linear and bilinear expression as equation number 6 and 7 respectively. So log 1 upon C is equal to K1 phi 1 plus K2 phi 2 plus and so on Kn phi n plus summation of Ai plus C, or summation of Kj phi j plus summation of Ai plus C, or summation of Bj phi square j plus summation of Kj phi j plus summation of Ai plus C. Module 6, Applications of Traditional QSAR Methods. Although advanced multidimensional QSAR techniques have been developed, traditional QSAR methods are still important, currently being used and play important role in drug designing processes. Some important applications are: first one, these are an important mechanism based lead optimization technique currently available to make quantitative predictions of new analogues. Second, a linear combination of lipophilic and electronic terms of Hansch model account for drug receptor interactions, and its nonlinear lipophilicity term is included to model the transport and distribution of the drugs. Therefore, Hansch analysis can be used to describe complex biological data where several different transport processes and equilibria contribute to the overall SAR. Third one, pharmacokinetic behaviors of the drug can also be assessed by these methods. Basically, pharmacokinetic describes the time dependency of transport and distributions of drug in different compartments of biological system. For example, by rate constant of absorption, blood and tissue levels, and metabolism and elimination rate constant. Hansch concept based QSPR has been used to investigate the structural dependency of parameters within group of chemically related compounds. Next, thousands of Hansch QSAR equations have been derived for various pharmacodynamic as well as pharmacokinetic activities and reported in the literature. Hundreds of them give correct prediction of biological activity of the molecules before their synthesis. Some examples are given in table number 1. The Free-Wilson model never becomes as popular as Hansch model due to the limitations inherent its applicability and predictive ability. Only a few hundreds studies have been published. Some important examples are: first one, effect of 40 substituents in 6 different positions of 2-phenylquinoline methanols for their antimalarial activity was quantified by Free-Wilson analysis. Free-Wilson analysis of the variation of analgesic activity of benzomorphins with variation in substituents at various positions as well as optical isomerisms lead to the designing of morphinons. So, at the end, whole discussion can be summarized as: Hansch and Free-Wilson analysis are the two most popular quantitative models of the traditional QSAR analysis. In last 50 years, both these methods have been successfully implemented in describing QSAR of various categories of compounds and in predicting activities of new analogues. Hansch and Free-Wilson models differ in their application, but they are closely related. Although advanced multidimensional QSAR techniques have been developed, these traditional QSAR methods are still important, currently being used, and play important role in drug designing processes. This chapter offers fundamental aspects of QSAR, detailed description of Hansch and Free-Wilson quantitative models, interrelationship of these models and their applications. Thus, this chapter is certainly helpful to beginners of QSAR analysis. Thank you.